If you're seeing the word limited in your Google Ads account, it might mean one of two things. And I'm going to explain the difference between Google's limited ad serving policy and limited ads. Hey, this is John from StubGroup. We're a digital advertising agency and premier Google partner, and we help businesses dominate Google Ads and make money online. And Google, for some reason, uses the word limited in completely different ways in the Google Ads interface. So I'm going to explain what those different instances mean. So first of all, limited ad serving. Limited ad serving is something that if it's impacting your account, you should see a banner up at the top of the Google Ads account page, and it will say limited ad serving and say something about your ads being limited due to that policy. Now, what this means is that you're essentially in probation. In other words, Google is not sure about your account. They're not suspending you. They're not disapproving your ads. They will let your ads show to a certain extent. But either because of the industry in which you're operating, or maybe because they don't see much business history about you, or for other factors as well, they can, for whatever reason, and again, it's up to Google to decide these things, they can say that they don't think that you should get as many impressions as you could, at least right now. And the theory is that as you demonstrate that you're complying with policies, as you build up information and history, that eventually you can reach a threshold where you are no longer limited by this policy. Now, exactly where that threshold is, Google won't say. And what you can do is you can appeal. And there's usually a button to do this in that notification in your account. And you can submit information to Google explaining who you are, trying to build legitimacy, share additional documentation to hopefully try to get that flag removed. Now, one other thing I will say is that sometimes that flag will be there and it won't actually seem to have any measurable impact on your impressions. We've seen this with many advertisers here at StubGroup where, yep, the flag is there, but we see no change in impressions before or after the flag comes on, and it appears to not have any impact. So just because you see the flag doesn't necessarily mean it's really impacting things, but if you are having a hard time getting as many impressions as you think you should be able to, or if you saw a drop in impressions after the flag appeared in your account, then you're probably being impacted by the policy. Now, a lot of advertisers get confused about this versus the next thing I'm going to talk about, which is limited ads. So at the ad level in your Google Ads account, Google has a status column where they'll tell you things like whether your ad is under review or eligible, approved, disapproved, etc. And a couple of those options, specifically eligible and approved, can have this word limited, usually in parentheses, after either eligible or approved. So it'll say something like approved limited. And this, again, is completely different from the limited ad serving policy. What this means is that your ad, it is not disapproved, it is eligible to serve, but there are some restrictions on exactly when it can serve because of the specific industry or policy Google think that relates to it. So for example, if you have ads in the gambling space or potentially in the healthcare space or other more sensitive spaces where there are limitations on how Google can use targeting, maybe there are some keywords that cannot trigger ads or some audiences that can't be used in targeting, or maybe geographies. For example, you're maybe certified for gambling in one state but not another state. There are limitations, and so Google puts that limited flag on your ad, indicating to you that there are limitations. Now again, you are approved, your ads can serve. They're just telling you that there are some situations in which your ad can't serve. And there's not really anything you can do about that unless Google is indicating that they're mistakenly flagging you for something. Let's say they're saying limited due to gambling, but you're not in the gambling space. You're in a completely different space. Well, then you could appeal it and say, hey, this limitation doesn't apply to me because that's not actually what I'm advertising. But if you are advertising what they think you are, then basically you just live with that flag, and it is what it is. So hopefully that distinction helps you, because we have a lot of advertisers who reach out to us, again, confused. They think that they see that limited flag on the ad level, and they think that means they've violated the limited ad serving policy, or vice versa. And no, they are two completely different things that Google, for whatever reason, uses the same word to describe.